Welcome back to the channel of Truth, Trust and Transparency. And if you've been tuning into my daily videos, the situation behind me for Amanda, a family of four, was something that I reviewed yesterday. And on this video, I actually got a really interesting comment. The comment was from Che Hill, who, you know what, after I read this, I thought I should actually do a video on this. To give you guys an update, the subscriber count overnight has dropped only very small amount, which is not good, but I am determined to see how close I can get. And to be honest, I'm not too far off. I'm within sort of 20% of that goal. I'm posting every single day on YouTube to the end of the year to get to 2,500. That's how many subscribers I had left. If you're just joining me now, you've not seen any more of my videos. But this was a situation where family of four were on 200 grand per annum. They had 800K deposit and they wanted to know how they could get to retirement. They were saving good. They had a PPI worth £1.8 mil fully paid off. And I went through this scenario where they could buy 4 properties, hold them for 2 10-year cycles, and then they'd end up with about 300 grand here, some granny flats, do the same in super. Again, as you guys know, these are videos for educational purposes. I'm not a financial advisor, I don't have an AFSL, I'm not a mortgage broker, not an accountant, just a property investor and developer that loves crunching the numbers. So Amanda reached out, had this question for me. I said, thank you, Amanda. And I said, in return, because she asked me this lovely big question, I said, look, the least I could do is put together the situation. But what was really funny is Che wrote on this, he says, this is his comment on that video. He said, there comes a tipping point in life where time becomes more important than money. The quality of your life in your retirement, earning 200K per annum, assuming no debt, will be minimally different, if at all, to 850K. But take a decade longer to achieve. I'll take 200K per annum retirement at 45 over an 800K retirement at 65 every day of the week and twice on Sundays. But of course, each to their own. You may be in a career that truly fulfills you and no reason to wish to retire earlier. Really got me thinking, that type of comment, about this situation here. And he's right, because we don't all want to, not everyone wants to work to their 60. It's a long time, and your best years can definitely be your younger years. So I thought, if I start to take a little bit of this away, and I thought, what does this scenario look like starting with an 800K deposit, and if we only ran it to 10 years? Where would we end up? And I don't know the answer to that, and I thought today would be a really good idea for a video if I was to run that. So I want to get rid of all the second 10-year projections, and I want to say, let's calculate this on the fact of the matter that Amanda says to me, Dave, I don't want to work till I'm 60. I want to just, plod along. I want to travel. I want to enjoy the world, spend time with the grandkids, those sorts of things. Can I still have that? And if I wanted to do this particular plan, what would it look like if I was to sell, buy, hold for a full 10 years? We've got the assets. Where would we be looking at? And what could we do with it? Again, I'll rub all this out, and live with you guys today, I thought it would make a pretty good video if I went through and I just ran the numbers on it. Now, it could mean a lot less and it might not work, and they might need 15 years, but let's see what it works out to be, shall we? Actually, I'll leave the chair there. No, I'll take the chair. Sorry guys. So follow along with me. I'm just bobbing down a little bit, so apologies guys, but so the way I'm working this out, and let's see what it costs to sell 1.2 mil property, 24, 30, 60. So let's say a 700K cost base, right? Meaning you've made a 500K capital gain. You'll then pay tax on half of that, meaning you pay 112K tax. So you come out of it if you sold one with $388,000, which is pretty interesting, right? Pretty interesting. I think another thing to think about too is 10 years time, being able to save 50 means we'll have 500K here. So these properties, remember, will have 480K still worth of debt. So if 10 years time we sold one and we had our savings, we'd have 800 grand. So we could offset two of these, but we've still got one that isn't. So potentially what we need to do is we need to come through and we need to sell that second one, 388K. Meaning we have a total, we have 776K profit from selling two, and we have 500K. Leaves us with 1.2 mil, 1.275 mil. The good part about this is we will have 1.275 mil. Again, we've got 560 grand of debt, so we'll take that away from 1.275, following along, 1.275. We take away $560,000 worth of debt, meaning we still have 715 left over. We can pay them off, which means as well, and another really good comment that was in the comment section, sorry guys, let me move out of the way with my chair. Another good comment in the comment section was saying that I maybe undercooked the price of the granny flats. Okay. So in 10 years time, let's say those 160 grand of flats are worth 250 grand now. So I can take 500K away from that, meaning in 10 years time, Amanda and the crew would be left with 215K cash, plus they would be left with, this is sold, so they would be worth, we think we said the properties were renting at how much? So we said these properties are gonna bring in 65K in rent. That's times two. We're gonna have two of them fully paid off, and we're gonna have granny flats on both of those. They're gonna bring in 35K. So again, 110K. Minus 10K expenses. So the good thing is, there you go, is that Amanda, if you guys wanted to, 10 years earlier, and you just wanted to have less, less money in retirement, we could do that. That fully works. I don't think I've missed anything there. Buy 4 now, hold for 10, sell 2, then you have 2 properties, and with the proceeds and the profits, with the cash that you saved here, diligently, 50 grand a year for the next 10 years, we then have 2 houses, bringing in 65 grand each, and then 35 on the granny flats. After expenses, 100 grand. Now let's look at superannuation. I think, and I'm going to go very conservative here. I believe Amanda replied to me and said, and she said that I think the super balance is around 400. So I'm going to get rid of that one, right? And I'm going to say you went out there, 750, you bought for 1.5 mil. So let's work out cost base just quickly off the top of my head. I'm going to say the cost base is 850K. So if we do the quick maths, 650K gain. And I'm going to say at worst, you'll pay 15% tax is 97,500. I'm going to round up and just do 100K. You will come out with 550K gain. Times it by 2, meaning we have $1.1 million. Over that time as well, 200K. If we're making super contributions, 24 grand a year, times that by, that would be coming off the mortgage. So 1.1 mil, we go out when we buy commercial property for say $1 million, 100 grand of all those other costs. That's going to be bringing in 60 grand a year. And then we're looking at 4% increases per year, which is 2,400 a year for year on year. So Amanda and Jay, really good question, really good commentary around that. This is why I love the YouTube community. For some reason, YouTube are people that watch longer form videos and don't go for the quick dopamine on TikToks and Instagram actually have very thought-provoking comments. So, Amanda, for your question, instead, if you just said, hey, we want to pull back at 50, I think you were 40 or 42, you and your partner, early 40s. If you just wanted to go to early 50s instead of through to your 60s, 200 grand here plus 60 grand here. So you're looking at $260,000 fully paid off PPOR, 260 grand. And I think I agree with Jay. That is definitely a situation that you can go down. Now, obviously, when we did yesterday, we said 300. I think there was an extra, potentially 60 that was going to go up to 150, and there was maybe a couple hundred grand in the Super 2. We all went all the way up. But if 260 floats your boat, that's another way, and that is less stress, less headache. We have 2 addresses with 4 rentals and 1 commercial. We've got that paid out in cash, so there's no risk there. We've got these paid out in cash, so there's no risk there. That is also another way to do it. There is, as I said at the start of that video yesterday, there's so many ways to skin the cat. There's so many alternative ways to do this portfolio. That's the second one that I've done, and I thought it was cool because it's 10 years less. So obviously, the longer that you can leave that portfolio to grow and double, the more money that we'll have at the end. But if you're in your 40s, maybe you just want to, 10 years and then pull up stumps for the working career. That's what you'd be looking at. That's a really good option, Che. I appreciate your comment. Amanda, I hope this as well gives you something to think about, because even if you landed somewhere between 10 or 15, it'd be between 260 and sort of that 800 mark. So I just want to make this clear, just for the people that may not be on or know what that type of cash is. $260,000 a year in your retirement would be $3,300 a week or $6,600 a fortnight. Now remember, you don't have to pay, your mortgage is paid for. You might have council rates, you might have bills, you got to pay for food, you've got 2 kids, but that's, in my opinion, $6,600 is a lot of money coming in and a amazing amount to spend in a retirement. I think anyone would be happy. So Che, appreciate the comment. Amanda, something to think about as well. If you potentially don't need to go to those massive figures and you want that early retirement. For anyone else out there as well in a similar situation, something definitely to think about, especially if you're in your 40s and you don't want to go all the way to 60. 4 properties. That's why I say as well, guys, 4 properties, because if we only went 3, we'd need to sell 2 of them and we'd only have 1 asset. So it doesn't work. So I always say that minimum of 4, maybe 5 is ideal, so that we can sell down 2 and hopefully have 3. Again, if you're starting in your 20s or 30s, we've got more compound growth. But that's why I say 4 to 5 properties is the ideal amount there to end with, and then we do our consolidation from there. But let me know your thoughts, queries, and everything else in the comment section. If you do anything else, if you've got a question, send me an Instagram DM at Davey Hamilton, and share it around so I can try to get that to 2,500 subs by the end of the year. Really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for tuning in again. And as always, I'll see you tomorrow.